going to be making a clock today using this Tealight holder house mould. It's got a nice support in the back, so that's good. And then once it's demolded, I'm going to decorate it using a serviette. So I'm going to be using Let's Resin Magic Pour to make this. So I'll just get some of this mixed up first, and then we can get pouring. I've mixed up some of the Magic Pour, and this is mixed to a ratio of 3:1 by weight. So that's say 300 grams powder to 100 grams water, for example. And I'm going to use these little windows hole makers for the mechanism for the clock. And I'm just going to place that down in the center there. Let's get that stuck down properly. There we go. And then I'm just going to pour the Magic Pour straight in. I'm just going to pour it nice and slowly, just to let it find its own way down into all those areas. And then we'll just get this filled right up. Hopefully I've made enough. I think it should be okay. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a tap and then finish off topping it up. So I don't want to cover up all those little details there that make the windows. So just taking it to the top of the mould. Let's pop some down into there. And then I'm just going to give it another little tap. There we go. I've got a little bit left over, so I'll find something for that, and then I'll see you back for demold. This is all cured up now, and with the leftover Magic Pour, I made a little turtle. He's cute, and I also made some flowers. So there's 4 little flowers there. Lovely. Right, let's get this one out now. So let's pull out that middle bit, and then take out this wedge out the back first, and then carefully get this one out. I might need my belly for this one. I'm not sure. Oh no, I think it might be okay. Let's get this top bit out. And then that inside bit, let's give that a little tug. All those little windows to pop out of there. Don't forget to pop your moulds back in the right way. You don't want to get any creases in them. Right, let's have a look. Beautiful. And because this is going to be the face, that's quite rough. So I'm going to give that a quick sand down, and I'm just going to use a sanding sponge. So I'll do that. That's quite noisy, so I'll do that off camera, and then I'll be back once this is all sanded. This is all sanded now, and I've popped some of the matte Mod Podge into a little pot there. So I need to decide now what part of this serviette I want on the clock. So I think I'll start by just cutting it in half. And don't need that bit. And I also need to split this so it's just the front image. This is just a 2-ply napkin, so I need to get rid of that back bit there. We only want that front bit with the pattern on. So I think I want the pattern to wrap around the side as well. So let's take it just past the side, and then I'll cut off what I don't want at that side. Take that along there. Right, so that's the sort of size that I want. And where do I want the butterflies? Right, so I want to keep those two butterflies in, but take those two out. And I can always add them on later. So I've got one of these brushes that have got water in it. And I'm just going to go round, just give that a little squeeze, get the water flowing. Just going to take that round where I want the actual serviette to be, because I don't want a sharp edge. I just want a nice soft edge to it. And then just tear off that bit that I don't want. Be careful with that butterfly there, because I think I'll put that on somewhere else. And then just take the rest of that off. I've got a bit close to that one there, but that's okay. Let's just get rid of those bits. Right, so next I'm just going to take a brush and put a coat of the Mod Podge over the front and the sides. So giving it a good layer on the front there. I think I'll just do the front first and then I'll do the side afterwards, I think, because it does dry quite quick, this Mod Podge. So I think that will do. And then pop that on there. So I want that to be about there. Wrap that over. Let's just straighten that up a bit. And then back down that side. And then I'm just going to smooth that out. And then I'm going to give it another coat over the top with the Mod Podge. And, oops, I've lost that butterfly. That's where I did it too wet there. So we just take that one off and we can always add another one after. So just going around the rest of it, getting that sealed in. And then I can take it round the sides next. So I'm just going to flat that down and then coat the sides with the glue. And then same again, just going to smooth that over and then give that another coat over the top. Make sure I've got that edge covered. I'm not worried about the overhang at the moment because I can file that off later once it's dry. So that's that side done. And now I need to do the other side. So I'm just going to hold it while I do this side. Flap that back. And then another coat of the Mod Podge over this side. Make sure I've got all down the edge. And then same again, just going to flap that over the top. Smooth that down. Take that bit off there. And then over the top again with the Mod Podge. So that's all our front and sides covered. So we're just going to leave this to dry now. And then we can get rid of the overhang. So just going to place that down. And then we can also get rid of the holes in the middle here for the windows. This is all dry now, so I'm just going to take a nail file and just get rid of that bit at the bottom there. So I'm just going to work my way all around that bottom edge. And the same again with that side bit. So that's that all neat and tidy at the bottom. So next we need to get rid of these holes. So I think I'll just use a knife and just poke through those and get those windows showing. And then we're just going to give it one more coat with the Mod Podge, just to make sure all those loose bits are nicely sealed in. So while I'm just doing this extra coat, I'll just mention that today's video is part of the New Year collaboration that's been arranged by Tracy at Mini Scenes GB, and there will be a playlist in my description box so you can check out all the other lovely makes that have been made for this collaboration as well. So I think that's nicely covered. I'm just going to go in with the end of my brush now and just make sure I've got everywhere. And this extra little blue butterfly, I think I'm going to put him up the top there. So a bit of the Mod Podge, and then I'm going to stick that on there, and then same again, just going to cover that over the top. So that's how it's looking at the moment. So we'll just leave that to dry now, and then we can move on to the next bit. Now this is all dry, I'm going to give the front section a coat of UV resin using the Let's Resin hard type. So I'm just going to start by adding some all the way around the larger areas first. Get some down into there, some down in that middle bit, down that line there. And then I'm going to use my dotting tool just to spread this all the way around the front. So I'm just flicking it over the edges, and then it just bounces back and stays there. And I think I've also got a bit of a lip there anyway, so that's good. So I'm just going to do this all the way around the front, and also down in between all the windows. So I'm just going to take the resin down through there, and then down the cross beams there. So I'm going to do that all the way around, and then I'll be back in a minute.
The clock on the wall ticks slower now. A hush falls over the eager crowd. Another year fades into memory, whispering tales of what used to be. The calendar pages, worn and thin, mark the passage of where we've been. Each sunrise a promise, each sunset a sight, as moments like sand slip through your eyes. Time for the new year, a breath held so deep, secrets the future will silently keep. Let go of the old with its joy and its pain, and welcome the dawn, washing clean with the rain.
So now that's all coated, I'm just going to take a lighter and just pop any bubbles that might be there. And then we're going to cure this under a UV lamp. And I'm using the Let's Resin rechargeable lamp. So I'm just going to pop that on for a couple of minutes, and then I'll see you back in a minute. This is all cured now, so that's looking lovely. And I thought with a couple of the flowers that I made, I thought I'd add those to the roof. So I'm just going to use some of the Green Stuff World instant glue, pop a bit on there, give that a little squirt with some freeze spray, and then hold that in place there. And then same again with the other one, bit of glue, bit of spray, and then pop that one there. And then finally we just need to put the clock mechanism in. So I'm gonna put that with the battery bit to the bottom, feed that into there, and then you've got a little washer that holds that in place. So screw that down, and then I'm just going to tighten that up with a pair of pliers. There we go, make sure that's still in place. And then with the hands, you put the small hand on first. So just push that down. And then the big hand goes on next. Push that down. And then finally the minute hand. Let's get that down into that little bit in the middle there. And then we just need to pop the battery in the back. That goes that way round like that. And then I've got, where is it? I've got a little Tealight that I can pop in the back as well. So it will light up as well. Oh, if my battery works in this. Yeah, it is. So that will go in there like that. So thank you ever so much for watching my video today. And don't forget to check out the playlist for all the other lovely makes that have been made for this collab. And stay tuned for the pictures at the end. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.
The clock on the wall ticks slower now. A hush falls over the eager crowd. Another year fades into memory, whispering tales of what used to be. The calendar pages worn and thin mark the passage of where we've been. Each sunrise a promise, each sunset a sight, as moments like sand slip through your eye. Time for the new year, a breath held so deep, secrets the future will silently keep. Let go of the old with its joy and its pain, and welcome the dawn, washing clean.